Thank you very much, Mr. Friedman, for your presentation. Now we'll have some questions. They'll be led by Dr. Leon. And I think he has a question of his own, right? No. Okay. No. There are microphones. Could you raise them? Los micrófonos, levanten la mano para que los ubiquen. ¿Quién tiene una pregunta? Who has a question? Has to be in English. Only one at a time, please. Come on. Okay, up there. Up there, very way in the back. Ileana.
Mr. Friedman, I'm in my last year of high school, and my name is Aldo Sainz. And my question is democracy how we know it obsolete for the rapid change in technology? I ask this question based on two facts. That we are currently going through an electoral process here in Mexico, the 2018 elections, and most of the movements right now are either for continuing in the same track or regression, basically a return to normalcy. There's this populism, just like in America, or, well, like Warren G. Harding in the 1920s, for example. So how can technology act in order to improve democracy or way of government and actually make a change in this?
That's a really good question. Next question over here. Somebody was raising their hand. So I think about that a lot. It's a really important question you've asked. I've been thinking about it for a while. I wrote a book, Hot, Flat, and Crowded, back in 2008, and I had a chapter in there called China for a Day. China for a Day. And I fantasized if only in America we could be China just for one day. Just for one day. Would be so bad one day. Where the government could sort of order from the top down all the changes and fixes we need, you know. Would be so bad. Of course I said, no, I don't want to be China for a day. I don't want China for a second. But I want democracy to work with the same efficiency that you described in your questions, to be able to make changes, respond to changes as quickly as some top-down governments do. And if I felt that in 2008, I feel it even more 10 years later. Because our system's just not working. I've covered the Middle East most of my adult life. And really, I've come back to Washington and discovered that the Middle East has fallen me home. We're now all Sunnis and Shiites. We just call them Democrats and Republicans. But we're as tribalized as the people in the Middle East are. We've seen what that's done for them. And it's happened for a lot of reasons: money in politics, gerrymandering in districts, media. You can now just get your news from people who agree with you. But I am very worried. I think democracy is not making a very good showing right now at the national level. But the reason I distinguish between the national level and the local level is, at least in America, I can't speak for Mexico, we do have a lot of towns where democracy is actually working very well. And that's because at the local level, somebody has to clear the snow, make the sewers work, break electricity, and there's just much less partisan politics at the local level. And right now, what's propelling America forward, when we have this paralysis and poison tribal politics in Washington, is our healthy communities, and because we have a lot of global companies that don't have time for any of this, because they have to compete globally, like the AT&Ts, so they're creating their own education systems and whatnot. It's all working, but it's suboptimal. Imagine if we had a national government that was actually enhancing this rather than slowing it down and creating uncertainty. And so I don't have the answer for the question you know it's the most important question to ask right now. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Have you here. Thank you very much for visiting our city, our country, and obviously our college here. I am very much enthusiastic about what you just said, that the rule, the main rule is values. And I think that referring to the question that was put to you before mine, I think that democracy is part of those values. It represents a set of values. So I think that we can do many, many more positive, constructive things for our community, for our country, if we just stick to those values, if we respect those values, starting at home and teaching at home that values is the rule that must be respected all the time. And don't expect that this be learned when you go to grammar school or high school. You have to start at home. Thank you very much.
Late is that it actually celebrates everything old and slow. My book actually believes, as I believe, that all the most important things today are all the things you cannot download. It's all things you have to upload the old-fashioned way. Good parenting to good child. Good teaching to good student. Good pastor to good flock. Good bureaucrat to good citizen. So people know that I'm not on social networks, okay? Because I happen to think the internet is an open sewer of untreated, unfiltered information. Oh my God, it's got diamonds and rubies and gold and silver in that flow. And it's got poison toxin, broken glass, rusty cans, and rusty nails. And if you don't build the internal filters into your citizens and kids to filter out the gold and the silver and the rubies from the rusty cans and rusty nails and broken glass, we're going to have a real problem. Because you can't be there when your kid's on the internet every time, or you're a citizen. And you got to build those filters in. And the only way to do that is the old-fashioned way. There's no app for that, okay? And so a lot of what I'm trying to do in this book is really to celebrate family and community as the ideal institutions to build those value filters, and they're going to just matter more than ever as we live more of our lives in that realm. So thank you.
We'll take one more.
Sure.
Here.
Hello.
What class are you in?
Rakesh Pengasa. I'm a professor of business administration coming from Yuma.
Great.
Mr. Friedman, thank you very much for such an illuminating talk.
Appreciate it.
I have often watched you on panel discussions with Fareed Zakaria, and I'm really, really impressed.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. Let me frame the question first, and then I'll give you the context. The question is whether a student is listening to a professor or any individual is watching a TV or reading newspaper. One question that should occur to the person is, how do I believe this is right? Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. Many people don't even care to ask that question. Many people who do, they have forgotten or they don't know how to do it. So what will be your strategy or suggestion for them? So that's the question. And the context I would like to post is, you mentioned about the power of one. Yeah, that goes both as a positive as well as negative. Any individual has a power to create a content, and it can be distributed to billions. And with the technology advancing at the Moore's law, the problem is that, you can create anything and it can go to, half the planet, all the planet, and, it can influence. And most of the time, the way the technology is being used is as soon as you get a communication, people have stopped the idea of thinking,
Right.
reviewing it, and then responding. Speed has become important. Well, I responded to it in
Sure.
5 seconds. I responded in 3 seconds. So that's, it's a negative side.
Yeah.
The positive side is that, yes, if you have the right strategy, the right content, you can reach billions.
Yes.
So within that complexity, how would you respond to the question
Well,
that I
it's a
posed?
very important question. It's sort of a derivation of the one we just asked, in that we're talking about this upstairs earlier, which is I think every school today, starting in first grade or kindergarten, needs to teach digital civics. Okay. I had to take civics when I was growing up in Minnesota. That is, what is the Constitution? What is the Declaration of Independence? How does our Congress work? How do our Supreme Courts work? How does our democracy work? I had to take a class in that, and they don't teach that civics anymore like the way they did. But much more importantly, we need digital civics. So if you go to the internet and see a story that says the Minneapolis Sun-Sentinel reported that Tom Friedman was once arrested for shoplifting. You see it, Minneapolis Sun-Sentinel, the first thing you need to do is move horizontally and see if there really is a Minneapolis Sun-Sentinel. And that needs to become part of our habit. Not saying, did you see Tom Friedman was arrested for shoplifting? And send that to 10 people, and the 10 people send it to 10, and pretty soon you're chasing it all over the world. We need to be teaching digital civics to our kids from first grade. How do you use the internet? Because so often I'll hear people say, but I read it on the internet. As if that settles the bar bet, because it comes in this patina of technology, you tend to want to believe it, when in fact it's nothing of the kind. So I think we have to really, again, reshape education of teaching young people how to actually use these tools in an effective way by triangulating, and never just taking a fact, however clear it may look, as the gospel. And it has to be a strategy. It starts in first grade and should go through all 4 years here at SETI's in different ways.
Thank you very much, Mr. Friedman. And on that note, I'd like to...
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
We'd like to thank Dr. Friedman very much for joining us and sharing with us his valuable insights. And I would like to take a gift we have for you. So take it with you. It's a jacket and one of our books. Okay. So look nice in the cold. Okay. And also, if you could smile for the camera down there, our official photographer is going to take the official photograph. Okay, thank you all for being part of the SETI's Global Impact Series, and have a great day. Thank you.